I stumbled home after a grueling double shift at the hospital, my scrubs rumpled, my mind set on a cold beer and a burger sizzling on my custom stainless steel grill. But when I reached my backyard, my stomach dropped. The Grill Me sanctuary was gone. A notice, duct taped to my patio door, fluttered in the breeze. Drag marks scar the grass, telling a theft's ugly story. I tore open the note. Red ink, bold letters, and a sharp signature of Lorraine Carver, president of the Willow Grove HOA and neighborhood overlord. Unauthorized outdoor appliance, VY, OLADing aesthetic standards, it declared. I'm Ethan Caldwell, ER nurse, single dad, and against my will, dues-paying prisoner of this HOA. Rage propelled me to the Willow Grove clubhouse, still in my scrubs, the clock nearing 9 p.m. lights blazed inside. I shoved the door open to find Lorraine and her lackeys, Beatrice and Clara, counting HOA envelopes like they were guarding Fort Knox. Lorraine glanced up, her zebra-striped scarf shifting as she smirked. Mr. Caldwell, hear about the grill? I presume, she cooed. You broke in my yard and stole my property. I growled. She sniffed. It was VY Seibel from the sidewalk, Ethan. We have standards. The thing was dragging down property values. I stepped closer, voice low. It was behind my 6-foot fence which you've already griped is 2 inches too tall. She waved me off. Your grill's in storage until the next board meeting. Make your case or pay the fine. I swallowed words that could have gotten me arrested and left. But Lorraine had no clue she'd just started a war. Here's what she didn't know nobody in that room did. I held the deed to the clubhouse we stood in. 2 years ago, the HOA needed funds for sidewalks but didn't want to raise dues. They sold the clubhouse deed to a private investor under a leaseback deal. That investor? My college pal, now a real estate lawyer, who owed me big. He bought it through a shell LLC and slipped the title to me. I never breathed a word, thinking it might be useful someday. Lorraine, that day was now. Next morning, I sipped coffee and checked the property portal I hadn't touched since the transfer. There it was, Willow Grove Community Center, parcel 004732A, owned by Caldwell Holdings, LLC. I called a locksmith, a wiry guy named Dave who loved a good scandal. By noon, I stood outside the clubhouse, new keys in hand, the deed tucked in an envelope. Dave handed me a key card. It's all yours. Wipe the old cards. I nodded. Every one. He chuckled. This is going to be epic. Inside, the clubhouse was a gaudy palace-ground molding, an unused espresso bar, a conference room with a 12-seat oak table that screamed wasted dues. In a storage closet, I found my grill, crammed between chairs and a dusty popcorn machine. I rolled it onto the Pashmi patio and lit it up. The ignitions click and the blue flames felt like VY Tory. I tossed on a burger and lounged in a chair waiting. At 2 p.m., Lorraine stormed in, Beatrice and Clara trailing like loyal dogs. They froze, seeing me sprawled out, grill sizzling. What the hell are you doing? Lorraine snapped, her heels sinking into the grass. Eating lunch, I said coolly. You can't be here. This is HOA property. I slid the deed across the table. Read this before you humiliate yourself. Her hands trembled as she scanned it, eyes flicking to me, then back. Her minions peered over, lost. This is fake, she stammered, voice thin. Check the county registrar. I filed it. I stood, brushing off my scrubs. You're trespassing. Leave. Her jaw worked, but no words came. She spun and marched off, her crew scurrying behind. That night, I installed motion-trigger cameras and a remote lock system, cutting off the old security codes. A sign went up, private property. Trespassers prosecuted. Things went quiet until an email from Tyler Morrow, a jittery junior board member, asked for an off-the-record chat at a coffee shop near the hospital. I went. Tyler, in an HOA logo jacket, looked spooked. I didn't vote to take your grill, he whispered. That was Lorraine's call. Most of the board didn't know. I sipped my coffee. No vote, huh? He shook his head. She claimed emergency action under some bylaw, but it's nonsense only for safety issues. She just didn't like your grill. Then he spilled. She's been dipping into HOA funds. Last quarter, she reimbursed herself due live $5,000 for committee expenses. I asked for receipts. She stonewalled. I leaned in. Where'd the money go? He hesitated. She and Beatrice took a planning retreat in Scottsdale. Just them. I raised an eyebrow. Tyler, you talked to a lawyer? He nodded slowly. If it stops her, yeah. I called my lawyer friend, who connected me with a litigation pro. I handed over the deed, bylaws, footage of them stealing my grill, and Tyler's statement. She didn't flinch. This is criminal misappropriation, unlawful entry, abuse of power. We could get the prosecutor involved. I said go. 2 weeks later, sheriffs raided the clubhouse, hauling out records, hard drives, and Lorraine's beautification art. She was cuffed in front of a yoga class, neighbors staring. Suddenly, folks who'd ignored me brought pies and praise. A retired firefighter named Hank clapped my shoulder. Finally, someone gutted those crooks. But it wasn't over. One night, post-shift, I pulled into my driveway and saw my backyard gate ajar. My heart raced. The grill was there, but the lid was mangled, knobs twisted, a burned rag in the firebox Simone tried to torch it. The motion light was smeared with grease, the camera's memory card yanked. I called Officer Hayes, who'd arrested Lorraine. He arrived, flashlight sweeping. Retaliation, he said, dusting for prints. The HOA financials are a mess. You've rattled cages. He was right. My camera's cloud backup caught 3 hooded figures at 11:30 p.m. one with bolt cutters, another with a gas can. Hayes pointed. That's Victor Klein, ex-treasurer. Quit after the clubhouse deal. By morning, Victor was arrested for attempted arson, vandalism, and conspiracy. His home yielded papers linking board members to a fake vendor that drained due lot $80,000 over 3 years. The county launched a probe, and a forensic accountant ripped through every deal. 5 more ex-members got subpoenas. The interim Board 3 stunned. Residents called a meeting at the middle school gym, the clubhouse now a crime scene. The room was packed, neighbors furious. The interim president, a soft-spoken CPA named Megan, asked me to speak. I hesitated, but stood. I laid it out: the grill, the deed, the fraud, the arson, the arrests. This wasn't about a grill, I said. It was about unchecked power. A voice shouted, "What's next?" Megan answered, "Elections, new bylaws, volunteers." Hands flew up. Weeks later, the audit exposed rot. The landscaping firm inflated invoices with Lorraine's blessing. A contractor was paid twice for unbuilt tennis courts. One board member cleared personal debts with HOA funds. The prosecutor moved to dissolve the HOA, rare step, but with EVY Denke and neighbor testimonies, the court agreed. Willow Grove became HOA-free. A volunteer council, led by Megan, took over no fines, no secrets. I leased the clubhouse for due law 1 a year, with a clause: any fines and the lease dies. Then, one spring day, as I weeded my garden, a black SUV parked at my curb. A silver-haired man in a blazer stepped out, folder in hand. "Ethan Caldwell, Ray Thornton, State Attorney General's office. We're tracking a fraud network tied to your HOA." Over coffee, I gave him invoices, Tyler's records, and website receipts. He opened his folder. No clear VYEW maintenance. I nodded. Billed us for sidewalk cleaning. That never happened. Thornton tapped the folder. Clear VY use of front. Payments funneled to a trust in Arizona, linked to Victor Klein's cousin. This is racketeering. I handed him a thumb drive. Audio from the last board meeting before they took my grill. Tyler recorded it. Thornton took it. This could bury them. A month later, feds raided 4 homes, including Victor's and Beatrice's. Charges stacked up: wire fraud, embezzlement, RICO. Lorraine, out on bail, was caught at a motel with due law $12,000 in cash. She claimed spa trip. The judge scoffed. At trial, I testified my old suit stiff. The prosecutor asked, "Did you know the grill theft was to bait you into a fight?" I shook my head. Thought it was spite. The audio crushed them. Lorraine's voice. "Push Caldwell into a complaint, and we'll drown him in legal fees." Victor added, "Then we run the next clear VYEW invoice." Guilty on all counts. Lorraine, Victor, and 3 others got 815 years with restitution ordered. 2 months later, Willow Grove breathed free. Bright doors, kids on scooters, no petty notes. The council held forums in the clubhouse now, the commons under my trust, safe from fines. One Saturday, tuning my Scar grill, Megan gave me a plaque. To Ethan Caldwell, who stood tall. I laughed. Too much. She shook her head. Not enough. That night, at a commons cookout, music blared, kids raced, neighbors laughed. Hank, the firefighter, raised a beer. You didn't just save your grill. You saved this place's soul. I slid him a burger, flames snapping. Some wins need no words, just smoke and heat. So what do you think? Was I justified in seizing the clubhouse? Or did I overplay my hand? Should I have exposed the fraud quietly or gone full scorched earth? What would you do if your HOA came for your stuff? Drop your take below, smash that like button if you're Team Ethan, and subscribe for more stories that'll keep you hooked. Let's hear it.